In this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and graph an equation of the form x equals some number. In this case, it's 4/3, but it could be any number, really. The group that this skill belongs to is Algebra. The skill itself is graphing vertical lines, so that kind of gives you a hint as to what kind of line this is going to be. And the prerequisite is graphing linear equations. You should already know how to graph a linear equation to do this problem. Now let's go ahead and talk about this. If you don't know that this is going to graph as a vertical line, at least you can build a table of values, which is always a good idea. And you know that usually you're given two variables with an equation. Unfortunately, in this case, you're only given one. And if you're given two variables, you can select values for one of them, and then the other variable you can calculate. In this case, I can't really select a variable or a value for x because they already told me what x is. I can't say let x equal 2 because the fact is they already said x is 4/3. There's no budging from that. So instead I'll select values for y. Let's say I select the value of -1. Then what's the value of x? Turns out that no matter what I choose for y, the x value is always still going to be 4/3. If I choose y equals 0, there's no y in this equation to plug in, so x is 4/3. If I choose y equals 1, again, there's no y in this equation, so x is just 4/3. Now what I can do is I can plot these points and see if I can connect them with a line. Now what I've done is I've just plotted out or drawn out the Cartesian coordinate system here, and I'll go ahead and label some points on the y-axis as well. And what we'll do here is plot a few of these points. When x is, or actually I should say when y is -1, x is going to be 4/3. So I'll move over in the x direction 4/3. 4/3 is about 1 1/3. It's not just about 1 1/3, it's exactly 1 1/3. So I'll plot that point. So that point right there is x equals 4/3, y equals a -1. When y is 0, so I go nowhere in the y direction, my x value again is 4/3. I'll just plot that in there. So again, that's 4/3, 0. And finally, when x is 1, or 4/3, I'm sorry, y is 1. That point right there is 4/3, 1. Well, you can see the pattern. You can already see what's going to happen here. Is that I'm going to get a line going through these 3 points, and that line will be a vertical line. Let's see if I can make it a little bit better here and draw that down. Okay, there we are. We have a vertical line. Generally, I like to also see it labeled up above, so this is x equals 4/3. That's the equation of that line. Now, a little addendum to this, just so that we can learn more from this than just what this topic is that we've been taught that the slope of a vertical line is undefined, or you should have been taught this already, that the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And here's why. If you recall, again, this is not part of this problem, but something that kind of a little bonus, I guess you say. If you recall, slope is defined to be difference in y values over difference in x values. So let me just focus on these 2 points right here. I'll take the y value of 1 and I'll write it over its corresponding x value, minus, and I'll take the y value of 0 and write it over its corresponding x value. The numerator becomes 1, the denominator becomes 4/3 minus 4/3, 0. Division by 0 is undefined, so this is undefined. That's exactly why the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Again, wasn't really being asked by this problem, but a pretty good piece of information.